Hello healthy people, I hope you all keeping well today. So today I want to discuss about the most popular cuisines among the world, which is none other than the Indian cuisine. Just exactly. So let's elaborate and dig into what are the myths and facts about the Indian cuisine, especially in terms of food and nutrition. So on an average 31% of Indian population are vegetarians. So hence this clearly shows that vegetarian diet has enough of protein and all the essential nutrients which are required for the body in order to sustain a healthier life on a longer run. So let us talk about the couple of examples of most popular dishes in India, which is the first stands is Indian biryani. Yes, exactly. So when you talk about the biryani, so it has all the vegetables into it, like the carrot, beans, green peas, capsicum, onion. Apart from this, we also have spices like cardamom, cinnamon, clove, garlic, onion, all these things. Hence, isn't this enough to say it's pretty healthier? So it's this one pot meal which has accumulated all the essential nutrients and all the essential in terms of vitamins from your vegetables what you have added. The colorful vegetable makes you a rainbow food. Hence, by having just this one pot meal, especially the hard times like these quarantine times, that specific dish is great to go in terms of any age group in across your household to use this on a regular basis into your diet. Apart from this, let us also talk about the parathas, the myths and facts which are going towards the paratha. So parathas has been originally coming from northern part of the India, so that's North India. Basically, it's made up of whole wheat flour and potato, or if any vegetables preferred, and with a ghee. So when you really look into it in terms of a nutritional perspective, it has good amount of fiber, it has good amount of nutrition in terms of good fat from your ghee and curd, all these things. This is all okay when you eat it only confining to one or two parathas at one go. But Indians tend to end up eating more than six or seven times in one go. That's where the problem lies between. Also, the saddest part is India has been identified as a capital for the diabetes and childhood obesity. This is not because of the higher carb content which we generally take into a diet in terms of white rice or other sources of carbs, but it is purely dependent on the higher consumption of carbohydrates, and the higher consumption of the quantity of food matters over here a lot. So remember, moderate proportion is all about what one must have to take into consideration. So the moment you go wrong in terms of your quality and the quantity, that's when the problem lies between. And also let's talk about the idli sambar, which has originally originated from the south part of the India, wherein it is made up of your urad dal and rice preparation along with the coconut or sambar. This also again very high in terms of your calcium, which also eventually prevents your osteoporosis or any kind of bone deformities on a longer run. So this specific recipe has a lot of calcium into it, and also the vegetables and spices in your sambar makes one immunity a high. Remember, due to this pandemic COVID, across the world everybody is getting aware of the immunity. But at the same time, you must also aware of your resistance power along with your immunity power only can overcome any kind of these viral infections whenever they occur to you in future. So hence one must have a greater immunity. So when you look around each of these, when you talk about paratha or you talk about idli sambar or you talk about biryani, any kind of cuisine in the Indian diets, this everything is revolving around high protein, high usage of spices and everything. So in one specific dish, you got to have a lot of nutrients which is required for your body in any given point of day. Hence, ensure that whatever you choose an enriched food, lesser oil, with a freshly, locally made foods. And also one important point in today's generation, I'm assuming that today's kid might not even know what it is jowar or ragi or bajra. I must say that this is something which we completely forgetting in our daily diet. Most of the Indians still follow, the older age people still follow these kind of ingredients in the diet, but then the new generation is something which they are still yet to focus on these elements, because these are something which is high in calcium and one must have to follow in order to get a good amount of nutrition in their diet. So these all can also be made it in a pot meal, a jowar khichdi or a bajra vegetable palav, or it can be a ragi congee or a ragi soup or a ragi idli. So these are all things which we must have to slowly restart using these ingredients in our diet to keep up our health healthy on